All a bit daunting, but we are going to manfully resist the temptation to hide under the nearest table and burst into tears, and we're going to press on. So here we got the CAV injection pump. I'm told the first thing to look at is to pop off this cover here and read the numbers. Now this rubber band looks a little bit on the perished side. There we go. Problem we got here is supposed to be looking for a number or something, and I don't see any bloody number. So what I'm going to do is put a mark on there and see if I can line it up with the edge there. You can see there a little mark. If we line it pretty much up, I don't think that's going to win any awards for being precise, but at least I know where it is. It's the lower one, isn't it? So stage 2 is getting this cover off, seeing what's under there. I don't know if you can see, but it's still got the wire on. It's like it's been professionally put on. So it's possible that this hasn't been touched in all that time. So next job is to get these nuts out, these bolts out. It's a bit tricky because way in here and the back one conflicts with this pipe. So let's see how we get on. I lost the footage of getting these 3 bolts out of the end of the pump. I found a picture to show what they look like. Okay, so as you can see, I managed to finagle those off. You can also see I packed the bottom groove there with a bit of rag just to stop, you know, any bits falling down. I managed to crack them loose with, I managed to get a quarter-inch drive in there. It's with a 1/2 inch socket on, and then having cracked them off, I managed to get them out with my fingertips. So there we go. It's a shame. I'd have liked to take this this oil strainer off and give it a good old clean out, but there we go. Look as though it's possible. Mud on there. Yeah, that's mud on there. Lovely. So I clean it up from this side as best I can. Right, next up is to take off these bolts. I think, let's get the light on it. One there, and one underneath there, just with my fingers pointing at. Don't know if you can see. So there we go. I'll bring you back when that's done. Okay, moment of truth. Let's just see if we can get this bugger off. And there she blows. There she blows. Let's pile in with the old trusty Nip-X. And this is a 3/8. and blow the crap off as we go. Doesn't want to come. There he comes. Right. Okay, so now comes the clever bit. It's getting the top off. But there are settings inside based on this and this that we don't want to disrupt, because we need to look at before we tear the whole thing apart. So that will involve loosening the top of this little body here and then pushing those down. If we just pulled up, there are O-rings in there that stick to these and then pull apart what it is inside we're trying to keep together. So I'm going to try and loosen this up first of all. Me dad's old copper soft blow hammer. The theory is there we go, there's one. There's two. Let's see if we can carry on going. So, from my understanding, there are two things you've got to look at here. There are three holes. Can you see that? There are three holes here. You want to make a note of which one it's in. And in this case, it's in the middle one. There are three holes going there, and you want to find out which one this plunger here is going through, and in this case it's also the middle hole. So there, let's him off. Fine. The O-rings there, top and bottom, that we're going to replace, not middle, which is interesting. Interesting to me anyway, exciting chap that I am. And then the next thing we're going to do, remove this bloke, because he's, are we gonna? Yes, just comes straight off. And then move that fella, take out this little rivety thingy, whatever, and check it out. It's got a little hairspring there. Alright, chuck that in our little safe harbour. Okay, next up, there are these little lock tabs here, here, here and here. There you go, it's started you. In the kit you get new ones of these, so matter too much if you want to bugger them up. Three-eighths. Now these look to me, you see that, to be identical, so there's no left right on them. Take the tabs off. We're looking at the side that bolts to the tractor. So this metal tab, you can see, has got an open slot that end. So the open slot points to the back of the pump, as in the side of the pump that's closest to the tractor. And at this point, I'm going to need to take off this little chap. This also has, by the look of it, tabs on. And what do you know, it's a 1/4 inch. Wow, that really wasn't very tight. Right, at this point you can pull the whole thing out. We're paying attention to this because at the bottom here there's a metering shaft, is it? And that should come out with it. And look at that. There's a spring there. You can see it's very slight wear there. So that needs to be cleaned up. Some very fine wet and dry What we're going to do now is take out this little bleed valve that we took off earlier. This is bringing its copper washer with it. Right, that's 5/8. Saying some have got a check valve in and some are straight through. Well, that one is straight through. That's the yellow plastic cap on the end. So the next thing to come off. 2, 3, 4. All those 4 are the same size. Now allegedly this now comes off, and indeed the rumours are true. Now there seems to be like a roll pin there, so that's presumably to show you. Can you see that roll pin there? And that's presumably to show you that it can only go back in one place. Most used tools in my little garage are these surgical tweezers. So there's one out, all out, and there's the other out. And you can see that they're identical. So again, there's no need to worry too much about what goes where. Okay, so turn this round in the vise now. We've got to get this end off. There's an Allen bolt in the middle there. So what I've done is taken the 2 bolts that I used that were originally attaching it to the tractor. I have found by astounding luck that an 8mm Allen wrench fits, which is good because I haven't got any Imperial Allen wrenches. So what we're doing is that there, that like that, and I've got to confess I have already cracked this loose and then just use that to turn it off. You see there's a sort of a unusual spring washer there. There's the gear. That's the end we've just taken off. And there's the gear in there, and you can see the gear can only go back on one way. What we're doing now is getting this end off. And there she blows. Oh, so that's gonna... Okay. Some sort of spring and plunger in there, and that ball sits in the middle. That ball sits in the middle there. Yeah, you can see that ball has a head there that will take a socket, a 1/2 inch, and I think I can just get on it. Boy, that's stiff. Got him. The circlip, we have to mark where it goes. And we need to get the circlip out so we can get that basket out. And we need to get the basket out because there's an O-ring to renew. So there you can see I've marked with the arrow the top of the circlip. I don't know if you can see the circlip in there. It's a bit of cockeyed angle, so it looks off, but it is in fact on. Well, managed to get the circlip out. And there's this fella coming out. And that, said Fred, is that. Here's our little pile of bits. Lots of, get a better shot. Yeah, that's our little collection of scrap we took out. All the myriad pieces off, more or less cleaned. Some bits I haven't taken apart. I haven't taken apart this bit. It looked frantically complicated and with very little inside to renew anyway. I wasn't going to take the governor basket apart, but it fell apart in my hand when I changed the... You can see on the back there, I renewed that O-ring, and of course the thing fell apart. Of course I couldn't figure out how to put it back together, and of course it wasn't covered in the book in any kind of understandable form, so I'm just really hoping that I managed to figure it. This video is getting a bit long, so I'm going to split it into two. The next video will be putting it all back together again. Thanks for watching, and leave your comments, suggestions, ideas, feedback in the comments below. If you want to see the next one and see other videos coming up, please remember to subscribe. And before you go, could you do us a favour and just click on the like button? It really helps my little channel to get started. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.